Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. And my apologies that this message is being recorded so late, but I have to confess that unusually it completely went out of my mind that it's Thursday. I think you know it's been a more than busy week with one thing and another, the three weddings and a funeral. Indeed, yesterday's funeral was an unusual challenge in the sense that not long before the start of the funeral, we found that there was no key to get into the organ loft. However, a couple of phone calls, we managed to find a reserve key, get the organist in place and start the funeral on time. Today, of course, is the vigil of the Assumption, so there was a mass down at St Mary's. I also had a wedding practice for tomorrow's wedding, and one thing and another, it went out of my mind. But Margie, bless her, phoned or sent me a message on my phone just now saying, "Are you doing a message tonight?" And of course, she looks after our websites and sets them all up once I do the recording. So thanks, Margie, for the reminder. And yes, I would like to make this message. It's busy enough, but nevertheless, it's has always been a rewarding week, and I'm so grateful to all the people who support and help everything to function so effectively. Father Andrew, I think, is enjoying his break. It was his birthday yesterday, and I know he was celebrating with the family. I think he said ranging from the ages of 2 to 83 on the beach. But anyway, Andrew will be back on Sunday when I will then depart, and we'll try and keep everything moving smoothly, as smoothly as we can. But we do have some challenging events coming up. Next week, within the community, it's going to be quite challenging because the floor in the kitchen is going to be relaid. But I'll be lucky because I'll be away while that takes place, and Andrew in the community, I think you're going to have to eat in the library or something like that. But there is something else which is going to very much affect Bishop Eton parish, and I really do want to highlight this now because we've got definite dates. It's going to be a bit disruptive in the coming months. Some of you, I think, know that the window, the stained glass window behind the organ at the back of the church is in very poor condition. Indeed, is in danger of falling out. So it's going to have to be removed, taken off to the workshop, cleaned and reset. And indeed, some of the wall at the back of the church has also got to be looked at. So it's going to be quite challenging. And we now have definite dates. So I would share this with you right away, just to know this. From Tuesday the 26th to Friday the 29th of August, the church and the church car park will be closed. This will be to allow scaffolding to be erected both inside and outside the church. And the church will be closed again, but the church only, from Monday the 1st to Friday the 5th of September. This is for the removal of all the stained glass window at the back of the church. The window will be taken to the workshop for restoration, and restoration and full repointing of the stonework across the whole front of the church will follow. Well, the front of the church depends which way, the porch area of the church, the back of the church in one sense, but the front door area. So just to warn everybody that obviously it's going to be in the bulletin, it'll be there, it's going to be disruptive. Fortunately, nearly all the weddings, there'll be 2 weddings in the autumn, but I'm tipping them off that unfortunately we're going to have this scaffolding there. I think it's probable the organ will be able to be played, but we're not absolutely certain about that. We know we've got to watch and protect the organ, but we're still going to take advice on that. But the one wedding the first wedding I know, happily, they weren't planning to have the organ anyway. They're having a group playing, so that should be fine. So there we are. I think that's sufficient for tonight. As you can see, I'm pretty well ready for bed. So night prayer to be said, and then I think a good rest before we go into tomorrow, which again is going to be a busy day. The bulletin notes to begin with, a lunchtime mass at St Mary's, a wedding at 1:30 here, and then the evening mass here as well. So say a prayer that we're still standing this time tomorrow night. Okay, good night, God bless, and a very happy feast of the Assumption of our Blessed Lady, this wonderful feast that reminds us that Mary has gone where we all hope and trust we will go, to be with the Lord, body and soul, in the kingdom of heaven. That's the feast we celebrate tomorrow. We beg Mary's prayers to strengthen and deepen our faith in this wonderful mystery. Good night and God bless.